The first time I realized Madison wasn't mad at my computer time anymore. She was mad at my hope. Was on a Tuesday night, right after I microwaved leftover chili and tried to pretend it tasted like I didn't hate myself. We were in my apartment in Austin, the one with the carpet that always looked vaguely damp even when it wasn't, and the air conditioner that wheezed like it was paying rent. I had my laptop open on the coffee table, 2 monitors on the desk, and one of those cheap folding chairs that punishes your spine for having dreams. Madison stood in the doorway to my little office corner with her arms crossed, still wearing her work badge like a medal. "You're not even looking at me," she said. I didn't turn around. Not because I didn't care, because I knew if I turned around, I'd lose the thread in my head and spend the next hour hunting down one missing bracket like I was playing hide and seek with my own sanity. "I'm looking," I said.
I'm listening.
"That's not looking, Evan. That's existing near me while you do whatever this is. This is work." She laughed, one sharp little sound. "Work is when you go to a place and they pay you. This is you sitting in gym shorts, tapping keys, telling yourself you're the main character." I finally swiveled in my chair. "I do get paid."
I'm contracting.
"And this?" I tapped the screen with the back of my knuckle. "This is the thing I'm building. It's not a game." Madison did the finger-to-temple move like she was trying to flick an imaginary bug off her brain. "You and your app," she said. "You've been saying 2 more months for, what, a year? Because it keeps changing. That's how building things works.
No.
That's how avoiding real life works." I took a breath and tried to keep my voice normal. "I'm not avoiding real life. I'm trying to build one." She stepped farther into the room, eyes darting between the screens like they were guilty. "Tell me something," she said. "When was the last time you took me out? Like a real date. Not, let's go grab tacos and you can bring your laptop. I took you to that place on Riverside. That was because your friend Caleb was there and you wanted him to test your login screen. He offered. You made him." I rubbed my face. "What do you want from me, Maddie?" "I want you to act like an adult," she said. "I want you to get a normal job. Not this fantasy." "It's not a fantasy. I've got a plan." "You always have a plan," she snapped. "And I'm always the one waiting while you chase it." I pointed at the whiteboard behind me, the one with scribbles and arrows and a big, confident launch circled like I was summoning something. "I'm close," I said. 2 months. I'm serious. 2 months and it's out. Then it can actually make money. And if it doesn't, it will. "How do you know?" I opened my mouth and then closed it because I didn't know dash. Not in the way she meant. I had data. I had a product I believed in. I had nights where it felt like the code was talking back, like it could see the finish line and it was daring me to flinch. But I didn't have a guaranteed paycheck and a benefits package and a neat little box to put my life in. Madison's eyes softened for half a second, and I thought, okay, maybe we can land this. Then she said, "I'm tired of you living in the clouds." There it was, that sentence, like a stamp. I looked at her and said, "You know what's funny? You think I'm playing. You think I'm sitting here pretending. And I'm actually terrified all the time." She blinked. "Then stop." "I can't." "You won't," she corrected. We stood there, the hum of the AC filling the silence like it had an opinion. And I'm going to talk to you straight for a second, because if you're picturing some simple breakup story where a girlfriend complains about screen time and a guy mopes and buys a new haircut, you're not ready. I thought it was just we're growing apart. I thought it was normal couple tension. I didn't realize how fast life can flip when someone walks out and the thing they mocked becomes the thing they can't escape. Madison exhaled like she'd made a decision. "I can't do this," she said. "Do what?" "Compete with a laptop," she said. "Compete with a maybe." "It's not." She held up a hand. Don't pitch me your dream like I'm an investor." I stood up, too fast, knees knocking the desk. "I'm not pitching you. I'm asking you to believe I'm not wasting my life." Her voice went quiet, which was worse than yelling. "Evan, I don't think you're wasting your life. I think you're wasting ours dash." Then she turned and walked toward the living room, and I followed, barefoot on that sad carpet, feeling like a kid trying to catch a bus that was already leaving. She started picking up her purse, her phone, her keys. Wait, I said. Are you leaving right now? I'm going to my sister's, she said. For the night. I don't know, she said. And that was the first honest thing she'd said all week. I leaned against the couch like it could hold me up. Madison, I said, please, 2 months. If I'm wrong, I'll figure it out. I'll get whatever job you want me to get. I'll do it. But let me finish. She looked at me, and I swear I saw it. Not anger, not disappointment, just exhaustion. I don't want to be with someone who needs a deadline to treat me like I matter, she said. That's not fair. No, she said. It's not. But it's true. I followed her to the door. She opened it, then paused with her hand on the knob. You're a good guy, she said, like she was reading it off a script. But I need stability, not potential. I tried to laugh, and it came out like a cough. Stability, right? That's the word. She nodded once, quick, like she didn't want to sit in the moment. Then she left. The door clicked shut, and the apartment felt bigger and emptier at the same time. I stood there for a minute, waiting for the cinematic part where a dramatic song plays and I slide down the wall. Nothing happened. So I walked back to my desk, sat down, and stared at my code like it had done this to me personally. 10 minutes later, my phone buzzed. It was Caleb. Yo, he said when I answered. You alive? Technically. I just got a text from Madison, he said. She said you're choosing your computer over her. I stared at my screen. Sounds like her. Caleb snorted. Man, I don't even choose my computer over pizza, and I'm in IT. That's saying something. Thanks. Comforting. You want me to come over? He asked. I can bring wings. I don't need wings. You absolutely need wings, he said. This is America. We process feelings with fried food. I almost smiled. Almost. I'll be fine, I said. I just need to work. Caleb went quiet for a second. Evan, if you keep working like this, you're going to turn into one of those guys who talks to his plants. I don't have plants. Exactly. So you'll talk to your router. That's worse. I sighed.
I'm okay.
You sure? I looked at the empty doorway, then back at the screen.
No.
But I'm not stopping. All right, Caleb said. Then listen. You launch, you let me know. I'll be your first download. You already tested it 100 times. Yeah, but I want the official one, he said. The one where you put your name on it and the internet judges you like a pie at a county fair. I swallowed. Yeah. Also, he added, if Madison comes back with some dramatic speech, do not let her turn your life into a reality show. She won't come back, I said, and I meant it. Caleb didn't argue. He just said, call me if you need anything. For real. When I hung up, I sat there for a long time, hands hovering over the keyboard, not typing. Then I opened the notes file where I'd written, months earlier, a line I'd almost forgotten. Make the thing, even if nobody claps. So I made the thing. The next 2 months weren't inspiring. They were repetitive. They were me waking up, going to my contract shift, remote support tickets for a small medical office that always forgot their passwords, then coming home and going right back to my app. Grocery store at 9 p.m. for eggs and cheap coffee. Frozen dinners. Laundry at weird hours. The kind of life where your calendar is just work and work again. And your social circle is a guy named Caleb and a barista who knows your order because you look like you've been hit by a truck. Her name was Jules. She worked at the coffee shop down the street. One morning, she slid my drink across the counter and said, "You okay?" I blinked at her. "Why do people keep asking me that?" "Because you look like you're running on spite," she said. "And caffeine." "Accurate," I admitted. She leaned forward. "Breakup." I almost laughed. "Is it that obvious?" "Your hoodie has paint on it," she said. "Not the cool kind. The I slept in this and forgot who I am kind." I took the cup. "Yeah, breakup." Jules nodded like she'd seen it 1,000 times. "Okay, here's the deal. You either let it turn you into a bitter guy who argues on the internet, or you use it as fuel." "Those are my options?" Pretty much, she said. Also, eat something that isn't beige. Thanks, Mom. She grinned. Anytime. I walked out with my coffee, and in the parking lot my phone buzzed again. Madison, of course, hadn't vanished from the universe. She had friends. I had friends. Austin is big until it isn't. Every now and then I'd see her name pop up on someone's story, or I'd hear from Caleb that she'd asked about me, casually, like she wasn't the one who hit the eject button. 2 weeks after she left, Caleb called me while I was debugging a crash issue. "You're not gonna like this," he said. "Try me." "She's posting stuff," he said, like quotes. "Sometimes you have to choose yourself. Don't settle for potential." That kind of thing. I stared at my screen. "Tell her to print it out and tape it to her fridge." Caleb laughed. "I'm not speaking to her." "Smart." He paused. "You miss her?" I didn't answer right away. I watched the cursor blink like it had time to waste. "I miss the idea that someone was in the room," I said. "I don't miss the pressure." Caleb made a sound like he approved. "That's the right answer. It's not a quiz." "It kind of is," he said. "Life is a quiz. And the grading system is emotional damage. Appreciate the optimism." "Hey," he said, "you're building something. Keep going." So I kept going. The app itself was simple to explain and hard to build, which is basically every good idea. It helped people plan routines and reminders in a way that didn't feel like a punishment. You could build quick flows, morning, gym, errands, study, and it would nudge you in a way that felt human, not like a robot scolding you. I called it Flow Note. Caleb wanted something flashier. "Call it Life Boss," he said one night while we ate takeout on my couch. "People love thinking they're bosses." "I'm not calling it Life Boss," I said. "That sounds like a guy selling motivational CDs out of his trunk." Caleb chewed and nodded. "Fair." He pointed at my laptop. "Does it at least have your name somewhere?" "Why?" "Because when it blows up, you want credit," he said. "Also, when it breaks, you want the angry emails to find you." "Great. Love that." "I'm serious," Caleb said. "Put your name on the splash screen. Not huge. Just there. Like a signature." I hesitated. "That feels arrogant." "It feels accountable," he corrected. So I did it. On the launch screen, small text. "Made by Evan Carter." Not a brag. Just the truth. The night before I submitted it, I stared at the publish button like it was going to judge my entire character. Caleb sat beside me, feet on my coffee table like he paid bills here. "You're doing the thing," he said. "I'm trying to," I said. "What if nobody cares?" "Then nobody cares," he said. "And you still did it. Which is more than most people." I swallowed. "Madison's going to laugh if she ever sees it." Caleb shrugged. "She already laughed. You survived. Hit the button." I looked at the screen. My finger hovered. I thought about her saying stability, like it was the only adult word in the dictionary. Then I clicked. The next morning, Flownote was live. And nothing happened. When I say nothing, I mean, I refreshed the dashboard like a maniac and watched a big, beautiful zero sit there, calm and confident. Day 1, 3 downloads. 2 of them were me, because I'm apparently someone who needs to test his own creation in production like a man with no hobbies. Day 2.
7 Downloads.
Caleb texted, "We're famous," and then followed it with a picture of his dog, which felt unrelated but heartfelt. Day 3, 9 downloads. I went to the grocery store and stood in the cereal aisle thinking, this is it. This is the part where I learn humility and become a normal person. I got home, opened my laptop, and Jules' voice popped into my head. Fuel. So I made a short video tutorial. Clean, simple, no cringe. I posted it online with a calm caption. I emailed a few small productivity blogs. I sent it to a couple of forums where people actually care about routines. Then I went to sleep. 2 days later, I woke up to my phone buzzing like it had a personal vendetta. At first, I thought something was wrong, like my app was deleting people's calendars or accidentally turning their alarms into whale noises. I squinted at the screen. New downloads. 50. I sat up. What? Another buzz. New downloads, 73. Another. New downloads, 104. I rubbed my eyes like that would change reality. Then my email started filling up. Not angry, not even complaints. Just people saying things like, finally, something that doesn't make me feel stupid. This is weirdly calming. Who made this? Thank you. I opened the analytics page and watched the little graph lift off the floor like it suddenly remembered it had legs. I called Caleb. He answered on the second ring, half asleep. If this is about your feelings, I'm not awake enough. 50 people downloaded it overnight, I said. Silence. Then, 50. 50. Caleb sat up so fast I heard the sheets. Evan, he said slowly. That's not nothing. I know. What did you do? I posted a video, I said, and I emailed some people. Caleb let out a low whistle. Okay, all right, cool. Cool. By noon, it was 200. By evening, it was 1,000. The next day, I woke up and it was 20,000. I stared at the number so long my eyes went dry. Caleb called me this time, screaming. I can't get in, he yelled. What do you mean you can't get in? Your server is crying, he said. Your little app is trending somewhere and it's making the internet mad. I jumped out of bed, almost tripped over a laundry basket, and opened my laptop. Requests, spikes, errors. My back end looked like a highway at rush hour with no exits. I said, out loud to no one, oh no. Caleb was still yelling. Do you need help? You don't know my code, I said. I know how to panic professionally, he shot back. Talk to me. What do you need? I took a breath. I need you to stop yelling so I can think. I'm motivating you, he said. Quiet motivation. He lowered his voice to a theatrical whisper. I am quietly motivating you. I went into emergency mode. I upgraded servers. I optimized calls. I removed a feature that was nice but not necessary. I drank coffee like it was a medical treatment. At some point, Jules texted me, because apparently Caleb had told her I was going through it. She wrote, eat, water, blink. Also congrats, whatever it is. I replied, my app is on fire but in a good way. She wrote, that's the most developer sentence I've ever read. By the end of the week, Flownote had cracked 1 million downloads. 1 million. I walked outside like I needed fresh air to confirm the sky still existed. The sun was too bright. The neighborhood sounded normal. Dogs barking, someone mowing a lawn, a kid on a bike, and I felt calm, not euphoric, not like I'd won, just calm. Because the thing Madison called a fantasy was now a real product in real phones in real pockets. And my name was on it. Made by Evan Carter. Which brings me to the moment that hit harder than the download count. It was about a week after the surge. I was deep in database cleanup, tagging user sessions, checking retention. Normal boring stuff, which I now loved because it meant my app was alive. I noticed a familiar pattern in the email list because you start recognizing certain domains, certain naming styles. And then I saw it. An email address I'd typed 100 times into my phone. Madison. I stared at it for a full minute, like it might rearrange itself into someone else's name if I looked long enough. Didn't. I clicked her user profile. New account. Standard onboarding. She'd set up a morning routine, a workday flow, and this part made me laugh quietly. Date night. Date night. I leaned back in my chair and said, to my empty apartment, you've got to be kidding me. My phone buzzed. A text. From Madison. Hey. Just that. Like we were old buddies who'd lost touch at summer camp. I didn't answer right away. I didn't want to be impulsive. I didn't want to be cold. I didn't want to be smug. So I waited 10 minutes, finished what I was doing, stood up, stretched, and walked to the kitchen like I was a man who had places to be. Then I sat back down and typed, hey, what's up? She replied almost instantly, is that your app? Flownote? I stared at the screen. I typed, yeah. She sent, I saw your name when it opened. I typed, okay. She sent, Evan, wow. I stared at that one. Wow is such a small word for, I was wrong and I'm trying to be careful. I wrote, it's been a busy week. She sent, I can imagine. I've been seeing it everywhere. My coworker uses it. I almost laughed again. Of course. I typed, that's good. Pause. Then, can we talk? Like, in person. I leaned back and looked around my apartment, which was the same apartment as before, except now the silence didn't feel like punishment. Felt like space. I typed, sure. Coffee? She replied, yeah. When? I typed, tomorrow afternoon. There's a place on South Congress. 3. She replied, 3 works. Thank you. I didn't know what she expected. A reunion? A speech? A dramatic apology in the rain? What I expected was awkwardness and a little bit of that old pressure trying to sneak back in. The next day, I showed up 5 minutes early because I'm the kind of person who used to get accused of never being present. And now I was trying to be present like it was a sport. Madison walked in right on time. Same hair, different energy. She looked like someone who'd practiced what to say in the mirror and didn't like any of the versions. She spotted me and hesitated, then came over. Hi, she said. Hi, I said. She sat down slowly. For a moment, we just looked at each other like two people who used to share a life and now share a memory. Madison cleared her throat. So, congrats. Thanks, I said. She nodded. It's really good. Glad you like it. She flinched a little, and I realized my tone was neutral in a way that probably felt like a wall. She tried again. I didn't know it would. Work? I asked. Her cheeks colored. I didn't know it would get this big. I took a sip of coffee. Neither did I. But you believed it, she said. I shrugged. I believed it enough to keep building it. Madison's fingers traced the edge of her cup. I saw your name on the opening screen and I froze. I didn't say anything. I let her talk. She continued. It felt like getting tapped on the shoulder by the past. That's one way to put it. She looked up. Are you mad at me? I considered it. Not the easy answer. The honest one. I was hurt, I said. I'm not living in it. Her eyes softened. I didn't want to hurt you. Most people don't, I said. They just do what feels convenient and call it self-care. She winced. Okay, fair. A beat. Madison said, I really did want stability. I know, I said. And you didn't have it, she said, quiet. I leaned forward a little. I didn't have the kind you wanted. The paycheck on Friday kind. The, this is what adults do kind. She nodded slowly. But I had a direction, I said. And I needed someone who could stand next to me without rolling their eyes every time I opened my laptop. Madison swallowed. I didn't roll my eyes every time. I raised my eyebrows. She sighed. Okay, maybe I did. I didn't smile. I didn't want to make it a joke. Madison looked down. I said some things. Yeah, I said. I made you feel small, she said. I waited because that was closer. She looked up again.
I'm sorry.
That landed. Not like fireworks. Like a weight being set down. I nodded once. Thank you. Madison stared at her cup. When I downloaded it, I didn't do it to mess with you. I didn't think you did, I said. I did it because I actually needed it, she admitted. My days have been a mess. And then my coworker said, try this one. It's simple. And then I opened it and saw you. I let out a quiet breath. Yeah. She leaned forward, eyes searching my face. Are you different? I almost laughed, but not in a mean way. I'm sleeping more, I said. I eat better. I don't feel like I have to prove I'm not wasting time to someone who already decided I am. Madison's mouth tightened. That's a shot. It's not, I said. It's just the truth. She nodded slowly. I keep thinking about that night. When I left. Me too, I said. I thought you'd fall apart, she said. And then she looked horrified that she'd said it out loud. Not because I wanted you to. I thought you needed me to be okay. I leaned back. That's a very flattering story where you're the hero. Madison blinked, then gave a small, embarrassed laugh. Okay, I deserved that. I didn't soften it. I didn't pile on either. Madison took a breath. I miss you. I let the sentence sit there. Then I said, I miss parts of us. I don't miss fighting about my future like it was a hobby. She nodded, eyes glossy but not dramatic. I know. Another pause. Then Madison said the part I'd been expecting and still wasn't ready to hear. Would you ever try again? I watched her carefully, not to judge her, to see if she understood what she was asking. Madison, I said, I'm not going to pretend everything is fine because my app is successful now. That's not what I mean. It kind of is, I said gently, because now it's real to you. Now it fits your definition of stable. Her eyes dropped. That's not fair. I nodded. It's not, but it's true. She took a shaky breath. So that's it. I didn't say yes like a hammer. I said it like someone closing a door carefully. I think it has to be, I said. Madison sat back, staring at the table like it was giving her answers. After a moment she said, You're going to be fine without me. I already am, I said, not to hurt her, just to stop the old pattern where I had to make her feel better about leaving. Her eyes lifted, and I saw it, the lesson, arriving late like a delayed flight. She whispered, I really thought you were just sitting there. I nodded. A lot of people see a guy at a computer and assume it's nothing. They don't see the late nights, the stress, the 1,000 tiny decisions. Madison stared at me. I was wrong. I didn't gloat. I didn't need to. I hope you find what you're looking for, I said. Seriously. She stood slowly. You too. She hesitated, then said, Flownote really is good. I finally smiled a little. Thanks. Madison gave a small nod, turned, and walked out. And here's the part people always expect me to say. That I felt victorious or satisfied or like I'd won. I didn't. I felt clear. Because the biggest change wasn't the downloads. It wasn't the money. It wasn't the fact that my name was now floating around on millions of screens. It was that I finally understood something simple. If someone only respects your work after strangers applaud it, they never respected you. They respected the applause. That night, Caleb came over and found me cooking actual food, chicken, vegetables, the whole adult thing. He squinted at the stove. Who are you and what have you done with Evan? I'm evolving, I said. Caleb sniffed. Smells responsible. I hate it. I laughed. Madison downloaded the app. Caleb froze mid-step. No way. Yes way. He walked closer like I'd just told him a ghost story. Did you talk? We did, I said. And it ended where it ended, I said. Just cleaner. Caleb nodded slowly. Good. I stirred the pan. You know what's funny? What? She made a date night routine in Flownote. Caleb burst out laughing. Stop. You're lying. I'm not. He wiped his eyes. That's tragic. That's comedy. That's modern art. I shook my head, smiling despite myself. Yeah. Caleb leaned against the counter. So what now, Mr. Millions of Downloads? I thought about it. Not in a big philosophical way. In a real way. Now I keep improving it, I said. Now I hire help. Now I stop treating sleep like an optional feature. Caleb nodded. Love that. And I added, next time I'm with someone, it's not going to feel like I have to defend my ambition. Caleb raised an eyebrow. That's the real upgrade. Exactly, I said. My phone buzzed again, support email, someone asking for a feature. I glanced at it, then put the phone face down. Caleb noticed. Look at you, he said. Boundaries. I smirked. Don't get used to it. We ate dinner at my small table. The apartment was the same. The carpet was still sad. The AC still wheezed. But the silence in the room felt different now. It wasn't lonely. It was peaceful. Later that week, Jules handed me my coffee and said, So, whatever it is, did you survive? I did, I said. She smiled. Told you. Fuel. I nodded. Yeah, fuel. And somewhere out there, Madison opened Flow Note on her phone, saw my name on the screen, and got reminded, again, of the night she called my work a fantasy. The thing is, I don't hope it ruins her day. I just hope it teaches her the one lesson she needed to learn. Sometimes the person sitting at a computer is building the door you'll one day wish you didn't slam.